Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the stream. It's me, Digi. Good Wednesday evening to you. It is June the 25th, and this is definitely not something I usually do during the week, but I think I'm going to try to do two flights tonight. It's going to be a late night for me, and I think we're going to grab the Horizon 789, and we're going to do some flights down the East Coast. I usually fly down to Orlando in one non-stop flight, but I think I'm going to break it up into two. So I'm going to try to go from Dulles to Atlanta, and then depending on how I feel and how late it is, we'll see if we can't do Atlanta to Orlando to wrap up the evening. But welcome. Hopefully you are doing okay. I just filed on VATSIM, so we're going to be flying East Coast ops. Let me grab the Horizon Simulations 789, and let's see if I can grab an American Airlines livery. For some reason, the bare metal livery, which I kind of wanted to see, isn't installed properly, so I'll have to check that out. But we do have November 821 Alpha November, so we're going to go ahead and grab that one. It's the more modern livery anyway, and I like the way that looks, so that's not a major problem. And I think the registration is baked into the livery design, so I'm not going to worry about it showing up or having to punch it in. So the flight plan's already filed on SimBrief, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Iraq Effects, good to see you, friend. Welcome aboard. I'm going to load into Dulles, and I think we're going to get some ATC tonight. And depending on how my controls are set, I think what I'm going to do is probably just remap my push to talk button, because honestly at this point I've flown so many times with the gamepad that really the landings are the only thing that get memed. Everything else is just set the plane up, fly it for a little bit, put the autopilot on and chill, which is exactly what we're going to be doing tonight for the first couple flights. But Iraq Effects, good to see you, friend. Welcome aboard. Very happy to have you with us. Let me change my push to talk button, and oh no, wait, it's already set. I forgot that I had this set up for VPilot, not XPilot. But yeah, button 7 on the controller, which means once I connect to VATSIM, that should be the way it works. Okay, let's pick our airport and get going. We need to go to Dulles, and I think the big parking spots are the ones we're going to be using, like the Alpha 32. If for some reason you feel inclined to fly along, we're going to be flying to Atlanta tonight as the first leg. May be the only leg, but so far so good. And I'm going to push into tomorrow and probably do something like an early morning departure. Like an early morning departure, just so we get some nice sunrise action and we just we chill. I'm probably going to turn multiplayer and live traffic off for today's flight because I'm going to be flying on VATSIM, and let's see if we actually get any traffic. So I'm loading in now. By the way, folks, let me know if my volume levels are too high or too low. I'll adjust them as much as I can to make sure you have an ideal experience. Pretty sure the plane will load, although I did have some trouble after I did a slight update to the sim not that long ago, but fortunately we got past the problem. Alright, let me check something. I'm usually afraid that I'll be too imperceptible over the audio, which is usually when I get the in-game audio pretty low. Let me know if it's still too low. Hopefully it works out. I mean, I'm also streaming at night, and I think Mrs. Digi might, go to sleep at some point. So I want to make sure I'm not like crazy loud. But I have a feeling when you get tired enough, you'll sleep through a lot. Hang on a moment. Let me know if this is any better. I'm adjusting the microphone position as well, so that might help. But just keep me informed. Digi Red Eye, Digi Red Eye. Yes, Nathan, absolutely. Today is just the ticket. Okay, thank you, Iraq. All right, let me go ahead and set up my other screen so I can catch chat. And Nathan's Planes, welcome aboard. I'm very happy to have you aboard, friend. We are doing some red eye ops tonight. And now that my volume's sorted, I think I'm going to go ahead and at least get the plane set. Let's get the external power plugged in. And what else do I need to do? I can probably use GSX to get connected.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Oh, is it? Okay, then help me find something I can park at. Because otherwise, we will refactor this particular position.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
So we're going to make the max allowed clearance 61 meters for the wings, and that should take care of all the things. So marshaller, and right now, that's all I care about. We should be good. So now I should be able to get GSX service going. Ooh, thanks for the heads up, friend. I don't update GSX that often, but I'm definitely going to stay away from updates for at least the next few days. Thank you. So we're going to operate the jetway under the guise of United Airlines, and we have the requisite default airport with the GSX planes. We have the battery turned on, the external power on, and now we're going to go ahead and get the IRSs aligning. So, FD door power to on, and what else am I missing? Let me check. Lights, emergency lights should be armed. And what am I missing? Not much at this point, but let me just double check a few things. We'll turn packs on, and we can keep the packs on from this point going forward because this plane does not need to turn the packs off in order to actually start the engines, which is a beautiful thing. I'll turn the nav and logo lights on. This is a Digi flight after all. I turn my logo lights on in the middle of the day, so I have zero problem with that. And we haven't boarded yet, so we will eventually get the crew on board. But I think the first thing that I need to do is get connected to VATSIM and get ready to go. Gotta illuminate that orange tail. Let's go. Lyles, thanks so much for stopping in today. Really appreciate the company. Um, I understand if you get tired and have to go to sleep. Let me connect to VATSIM and get the flight plan set to go. We're going to be American 197, and you should be able to follow me on SimAware or your network tracking software of choice. We're going to be American 197, and we're going to be a Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. I do not know whether or not we're actually going to have any kind of issue, and we do have PDC already. Let me double check my push to talk button. There we go, that's why. Alright, now we're transmitting. So, we got some folks next to us, I think. I can't tell. But I definitely hear some aircraft. We're breathe, Digi. We're departing out of Dulles. We're going to Atlanta. We're going Dulles through the Clutch 3 departure flash transition. And then we're taking the Aussie 1 arrival into Atlanta. Altitude is 400. We're going to squawk 2713. Let me get that checked. 2713. 2713 is set. And now we should be squawking mode Charlie. And then we expect 3000 and then 400 10 minutes after departure. Contact ATC at west side of ramp. Okay, so that's good. Oof, wow. Let me double check. It's gonna get a little loud, but I'm gonna see who's next to me. Good gravy, that's loud. That's like uncharacteristically loud. I wish I had like a headphone feature or something. Tell you what, we're gonna take the volume down for now in order to get prep for departure. I'm sorry about that. Just give me a quick reminder to turn the volume levels up before we depart IAD, and then we'll fix that. But for some reason, somebody is like warming up their airplane and really giving it the beans, so the engines are really loud. Okay, so we have the squawk code, and we have IAD Clutch 3 Flask Aussie 1. Let's go to the computers and start getting set up. And we already have GPS position set. We will take Dulles, and we'll go to Atlanta. Oh, really? Okay, I'll do that now then. Hold on. You said general settings, sounds, traffic. Oh, sheesh, I'm like totally maxed out. Okay, master, voices to like 90. Other aircraft to like 30. Warnings to 80. Cockpit to 80. Aircraft miscellaneous to like 85. Aircraft engines to like 85 too. They don't need to be blaring. Environment, I'm going to say 50. Maybe even 60, but no higher. User interface and music, that's fine. I'll go ahead and save that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's other aircraft. And now let me reset my slider. And that should do it. Okay, now it kind of wants to go over the desktop audio, but it's not much, so that's good. Let me check outside again. It is loud outside, but not much. I wonder why it's so loud out there. Maybe it's because my settings reset. I don't know. But I don't think they changed the runway I'm departing out of, so we're going to take runway 30. Let me double check the airport layout because it's been a while since I took off out of Dulles. Yeah, 30 is where I usually depart. So let's go ahead and pick 30. Flight number, of course, is American 197. We're going to activate that. Can I request a route? Oh, wow. That's weird. Huh. Hang on, hang on. Settings page. Where's settings? Settings, settings, settings. I think it's here. No, not here. Init index, settings. And give me... Yeah, we'll do it this way. Pop that in. Okay, we are active. Good. Now let's go ahead and go to the route page and request a flight. We should be able to get set up now. Okay, let's do load. $30 for the flight plan, and while we're loading, let's go ahead and get set to go. We will request boarding.
Requested.
And we'll do performance in it. Double check our numbers for departure. Give me the briefing preview, please. Briefing preview. We're taking 318 passengers, which means 0 fuel weight is going to be 400. But let's set this up through the weight section. Total payload is going to be 73,100 pounds. Roughly. That's close enough. And fuel is going to be... Oh, no, wait. No, 72,100. And fuel is a max of 78,500.
Do you want to board crew? Pilots boarding starting.
Okay, so we'll load the pilots and the crew. And that's a little bit... Actually, a little bit under my max fuel. Let's do... Oh, no, wait, that's payload. Excuse me. Close enough, and we will do...
Crew boarding starting.
70... Let's do like 80,000 pounds of fuel. That's close enough. Okay, great. So now we have that 0 fuel weight's pretty close to 400, so we're going to go ahead and put 400. Reserves, we have roughly 50,000 pounds of reserve, and cruising at 400. Cost index for today's flight is going to be 15. And thrust, what did they give us for speed? I don't know. So what we're going to do is I think we're going to go over to the machine for performance and see if we can get optimal performance. Thrust rating optimum, conditions are dry. Winds are, at the time of generating the flight plan, we have...
Your crew has boarded.
Winds 280 at 4.
Passengers boarding starting.
280 at 4. OAT is 26, and the QNH is 3006. Flap config, we're going to do flap 5 takeoff, any ice off. Actually, hold on. Yeah, pretty much. And that should probably do it. Takeoff weight is going to be, based on our numbers we're given, 438,400. So 438,400 and 0 fuel weight 400. So we can't calculate, but I guess we can try. Oh, here we go. Calculate. Boom. There's my performance numbers. I don't know what CG is, but we'll get that told. 159, 162, 168. That's beautiful. Oh, wait, hold on.
Hello.
Do I see performance? Cell temp 37.
Good morning.
Cell temp set. We could theoretically do a derated takeoff, but I don't care.
Welcome on board.
Flaps 5, there are the numbers.
Welcome on board.
And we're going to do 166 on the MCP shortly. DG is 6.75.
This way.
CG is set. Or excuse me, the trim is set. And pre-flight's complete. So it's got to double check. We're going straight to Flask.
Welcome on board.
For some reason, that's the only waypoint that I have. That's okay, though. We'll get this taken care of. Clutch 3, Flask. Flask direct to the Aussie 1. Aussie 1 from Flask. And then we're going to do ILS 26 right. 26 right
This way.
from... Oh no, transition is Haynes. There we go. And that actually connects to the flight plan. This is one of those ones where it's really cool because it connects to the arrival and you go straight from the arrival into the approach. That is, of course, provided ATC tells us to go that way. So there are no vectors with this arrival, at least it doesn't appear to be the case. And we hold, and the go-around altitude is going to be, I think, 4,000 feet. So there's our numbers. There are our legs. Let's put 166 in the MCP.
Boarding pass, please.
Auto throttle on. Flight director's on. And let's get the panels lit up.
Hello. Good morning.
Okay,
Hello.
center panels are all the way up. Let's go upstairs. Glare shield panels all the way up. Overhead panels all the way up.
May I see your
And
boarding pass?
let's get electric set. And what's my fuel situation looking like? Okay, there's a little bit of fuel in the center tanks, not much. So we'll keep that on reserve. And we will get the fuel pumps rolling and get the beacon light on and get the APU started. So we should be getting out of here momentarily. Otherwise, let me just check upstairs again. FD power is set. And we'll get the flight deck temp cool, and we'll get the cabin temp nice and cool. You know what we like to say in this channel chat? A cold passenger is a compliant passenger. So, that's how we do it. We should be ready to push back now, but let me also double check my surroundings, and I'll use CTAF frequency. Okay, APU is running as of right now. Let me go ahead and check the systems on this panel. For some reason, this thing likes to view the systems here, which is neat and all, but no. And data, and give me a range of like 80 nautical miles, at least 40 before we get off to cruise altitude. And here we have stat APU is running. We're running the APU gen right now. And 80,500 pounds of fuel, give or take. Aircon's going to be getting nice and cold shortly. Gear and flight controls. And that's good enough. We'll get the flight controls checked once we start pushing back. And I believe that's everything. I believe so. Let me check the charts real fast. We are midfield terminal, and we're going to be taxiing and pushing back to taxiway Charlie. We'll contact ATC on the west ramp for a taxi down to runway 30. And departure frequency is 119.85. 119.85. So this is what we have to do. VHF 119.85.
Wind
And
2704.
let's get the ground frequency set. What's ground frequency? Ground west is 121625. Let's see if that works. One, two, 1, 6, 2, 5. Let's see if anybody's on frequency. Meanwhile, I'm guessing that's going to be the CTAF frequency because that's the lowest level of actual ground monitoring that we're going to be doing. But then again, I don't know what CTAF frequency is for this airport. And since ground is an actual frequency, I don't know if it's D8 or just 122.8. So we'll see. I'm going to default back to 122.8 for now and have ATC just tell me to tune into a different frequency if that's the case. Okay, but we should be ready to push back as of right now. We have the V2 speed. We're depart on 30, which means the magnetic deviation is 301. An initial climb is 3,000. 3,000 set. B button for a nice lazy setup. What did we say the... Check the weather again. What did we say the weather was? Weather is 3006. So let's go ahead and set that. .3006, and hang on for a moment. What was that going to be? What was I looking for? Oh, okay, for the ILS approach. I need to know what the minimums are. So, localizer approach into 26 right. It's 110.1 at 275. .1 at 275. There we go. ILS in course is set. Let's go TARA and let's go ahead and check up on what's necessary. We have the ILS punched in now, so we're okay. The minimums is what we wanted. We wanted to get the minimums. Minimums are 1,190 feet. There we go. Barrelman set. Beautiful. Okay, so let's see. We'll get weather and traffic set, and we will tune... Actually, 5 nautical mile radius is perfect. Okay. So, if I go back to Dulles, then basically we're going to... What are we gonna do, actually? Hold on. Show me traffic if there is any. Actually, I can see traffic from VATSIM. That's crazy. Wow. And ATC. I'm definitely leaving that option on. Okay. I think we're actually finally are ready to push back, so let's go ahead and get started. Dallas traffic, American 107 is a Boeing 787-900 pushing back from midfield to taxiway Charlie, facing west.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
I'm sure you are. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is with this sound, but it's so loud outside. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to tweak that sound way down. Let's get other aircraft sound down to like 15.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
That's better. We do have somebody coming, so I will wait until they clear to release parking brakes, and we'll get a lot of annoying reminders to release them.
Locking gear.
That's okay. Let me also adjust the coaxial volume while we're doing that so it's not so blaring. If we do nose left, tail right,
Release parking brakes, please.
soon as we get past this plane, nice ERJ. We should be good now.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Alright, so clock is set. And we are moving. Okay, no time like the present. Let's get engine number 2 started. %. Let's give it the go juice. And while we're doing that, we'll start engine number 1 as well. I have no problem kicking off both engines at once on this thing. "12, 13, and there we go. Okay, we'll be a little bit off the taxi line, but that's okay. Doesn't matter to me. Both engines are running. checklist real fast.
Please set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Checklist override. And now we're at the before taxi checklist, but we'll take a look at that in just a moment.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
We should be good. We're already on TARA, so we should be able to contact ground once we get to the west. And now that we're good with the engines, I can shut off the APU. APU is off.
Unlocking gear.
Wing lights on for safety. And taxi light
Tow
on.
truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Dallas traffic. American 197 taxiing taxiway Charlie from midfield to west exit. No, it didn't crash. Mrs. Digi was just checking to see if I was okay. Nathan, your comment was amazing. Yeah, we get your driving the galley. We're working on the coffee. Jeez. Dude, you don't know how much that comment means to me right now. That's fun. That's fun. A good roast, my friend. Just like roast coffee. So, I'm guessing they took care of me already? Because I guess they left. Yep. Dude's like, I ain't got time for this. I gotta go. See ya. Okay. So, we should be fine. Do a flight controls check real fast. And then we will be on our way. Left and right. Full forward and full back. Full left rudder and full right rudder. And full spoiler deflection. Full spoiler retraction. Ground spoilers armed just in case. And auto brake RTL. Let's go ahead and start monitoring ground. But at the same time, let's check recall before we really get going here. Speed brakes armed. Parking brakes set. Doors auto. We'll release the parking brake. We already checked recall. Anti-ice auto, recall checked, flight controls checked, ground and propellant is definitely clear, APU is off. So, before takeoff, we just check flaps and we're good. And now I think that's it in terms of checking systems, and we can get going to the taxi. So, let's go ahead and zoom in some more. Okay, there's no layout, no point. Cool. Again, like I said, let's swap over to ground frequency and see what's up. Alright, parking brakes released. And a little bit of go juice makes the world go round. You pilots are so demanding. And how, my friend? Yes, yes. Although I will say on my way home from Alaska a couple years back, I did go to, Tim Hortons and have a double-double. I didn't have any Timbits, though. Missed opportunity. So, is what it is, but we are just doing a flight in the US of A for now. Although, I am wondering what the next few flights are going to be for me in Canada, and I had an idea for Friday. I think I might do some British Columbia GA, like Vancouver, Victoria, Comox Valley, and then do another FS 2020 flight. And the GA stuff would be FS 2024. I also still want to create Comex Valley freeware because I don't think anybody else has. But it is what it is, and you know, all things being equal, I'm happy to give it a shot. I'm just hoping for you know, better days to be able to do that more easily. Hooper arrival to go over penalty box. Check remarks. Connection lost. Whoops. It's a problem. Stand by, chat. Hang in there. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. There is no ground. Ground is gone. So we're going to switch back over to. We're going to switch back over to decimal 8 for frequency. We have center and departure. So we have Potomac departure. Or what I could do is just tune Potomac departure immediately. Let me go ahead and just set myself up for departure here. Stand by, chat. Dulles ground, American 197 is type Boeing 787-900, taxiing runway 30 via Zulu. Ooh, only 380, sheesh. Late night for them. Alright, so do I have the flaps set? Not yet. Flaps to 5, set. So usually ground roll prior to departure is like 10 minutes or less. We're going to be a little behind the ball, but this is a 789, so we're going to hoof it once we get in the sky. Maybe that's exactly what we'll do on Friday, and the airliner flight will be an FS 2020, and we'll do a round over. We'll do a round over, like Detroit to Toronto. That's how I feel anyway. Now let me tune Potomac departure. Do we even have departure anymore? I guess not. So DC center is 133725. Okay, that's on standby. And I wasn't on Unicom frequency, so we'll double check again. Dulles traffic, American 197 is Boeing 787-900, taxiing runway 30 via Zulu. We can go a bit faster than this, Digi. You're okay. I think I like the wing view better for internals. Okay, so we're getting up to a little bit under 10 knots. We're going to go like probably 15, 20 for the taxi out. And we could even, theoretically, do an intersection departure at Zulu or go straight to Yankee 11. But since I advertise we're going to be taking off from Zulu, that's what we're going to be doing. An intersection departure for today. For this flight. May be the first of 2 flights. I genuinely don't know. We'll see what happens when we actually get to Atlanta. I usually do one and dones, but I might have the gusto for a flight to Orlando. We'll see. We'll see. Again, folks, thanks for tuning in tonight and for keeping me company. We are flying in FS 2020 and we're going to Atlanta for our first of hopefully 2 flights, but we'll see what happens. Flaps are set. Auto brake is RTO. And we will tune DC center prior to actually getting on the runway. Idle power. And just coast in, nice and slow. Flight attendant seats for departure. Okay, now we can hold short here. Parking brake set. No one's coming in on 3-0, and we will contact DC Center. Anybody on frequency? DC Center, good evening. American 107 at Dulles, holding short runway 30 at Zulu, ready to go. Unless they shut off.
Good American 197 Washington Center, hello. The Windcom runway 30 clear for takeoff and fly runway heading.
Clear for takeoff, runway 30. We'll climb runway heading, American 107. Heavy. I forgot to say heavy. Ding! Alright. But we're good. Parking brake release. And
FedEx
we're
213 to set and maintain flight level 280.
Let's get going. Oh man, I do like me some ATC comms. A couple of weekends ago.
5x5.
A couple of weekends ago, we did X-Plane 12, and we did X-Plane 12 flights in from Germany to.
You're clear to Andrews Air Force Base via Red Directors Hopewell as filed. Maintain 6,000. Expect flight level 2401 minutes after departure. Departure with meets clock 5562. Coming 5, read back correct. Expect runway 23 left for departure. Call for taxi. The altimeter 3003. November 675 Charlie Mike. Moderate to extreme precipitation. 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. 40 miles. Moving northeastbound. Tops unknown. And it's about 40 miles in diameter. Advise if you need to deviate. Power 4005. Contact Boston Center 134.7.
134.7, Sunday 4005, thanks for what's here.
Jetlink 406, leave my airspace, freak change advisory approved. You have my nights on?
knots.
FedEx 213, contact Jacksonville Center 135.902.
Rotate slowly, slowly, come on. There we go, positive rate. Definitely positive rate. Gear up. Flaps 1. Heading mode, bug up.
Departure on 4 ready for departure runway 30 at Washington Dulles.
Power 3415, the Windcom runway 30 clear for takeoff.
Takeoff runway 30, power trip routine.
American 197, radar contact, say altitude leaving.
Leaving 2,300, American 107 Heavy.
And American 197, you clear direct clutch, climb and maintain flight level 400.
Flight level 400, clear direct clutch, American 107 Heavy.
Navy Lima Romeo, request frequency change over to Unicom.
Navy Lima Romeo, freak change advisory approved.
Thank you very much.
Up we go.
Yeah, and warp 77, I just want to verify, you said you want to go over bay and just hold over bay? Okay, warp 77, roger. Alright, you cleared us. I'm sorry, let's do this. You cleared to the naval air, I'm sorry, the oh god, I want to say Naval Jacksonville for some reason. You're cleared to the Oceana via radar vectors bay, maintain 3000, squawk 0076.
Got the volume down a little bit on the departure roll.
For flight 46, turn left heading 030 when able to report the river in sight.
030, left 030, and we'll report inside.
And warp 77, read back correct, expect runway 23 left for departure, altimeter 3003.
$3,800 feet per minute.
Power 314 radar contacts, altitude.
Archer 14, 3000 feet.
And then power 314, roger, you cleared direct Melton, come and maintain flight level 240.
Roger, direct Melton, Archer 14.
This is Power Virtual Airlines. 10,000 feet coming up. Lights off, stay tight.
And 4+4, take days, we're for inside.
Release the crew.
For flight 46, clear Mount Vernon, visual runway 1 approach.
Come over, visual 1 approach. Flight 46.
Almost a clutch.
Archer 14, confirm 14,000.
And Packer 314, climb and maintain flight level 240.
Further 0, thank you, Archer 14.
JetBlue 212, descend and maintain flight level 240. Correction, 280. JetBlue 212, descend and maintain flight level 280.
JetBlue 212.
And who was looking for taxi? Coming 5, runway 23 left, taxi via Alpha, cross runway 32 left, 32 right.
In Washington Center, warp 77 at the same place in front of base ops. Request taxi 23 left.
Warp
Center,
77,
420, off
runway
Bravo,
3, correction 23 left, taxi via Alpha, give way today, 400 left to right.
4, request taxi for
Copy,
VFR takeoff
23 left by Alpha,
Washington
give way to the 400, warp 77.
And warp 77, you're also cleared across runway 32 left, 32 right.
Request 22 left, 32 right at Alpha, warp 77.
And who else is looking for clearance?
Washington Center, that'd be me, Cessna 420 Alpha Bravo. I'm at Ronald Reagan, Washington National, looking for VFR departure to Washington Dulles International.
Just stand by 1 second. For flight 46, runway 1, clear to land.
Cleared land, runway 1 for flight 46.
Controllers
And November
picking and
420
moving.
Alpha Bravo, I'm sorry, you said you're looking for VFR flight following where?
Washington Dulles International.
You can see aircraft type?
Cessna 172.
Yeah, November 420 Alpha Bravo, you're cleared into the Washington Class Bravo airspace, squawk 0567.
0567. 420 Alpha Bravo.
And November 420 Alpha Bravo, the altimeter 3001, expect runway 1 for departure. Just let me know when you're ready to taxi.
Wilco. 420 Alpha Bravo.
JetBlue 212, contact Jacksonville Center 135.902.
135.902, JetBlue 212.
Standard pressure. We're with DC Center for a little while, but man, they're taking care of business right now. Give me a moment, Chad. I need to adjust my levels. I'm a little too loud right now. Let me see. Is there any way that I can make this thing pick up more easily? Hold on. I think this will do. I don't know. I'll just have to be more quiet. So I'll take the ambient noise down a little bit.
Ready for taxi to runway 1.
And November 420 Alpha Bravo 1, runway 1, taxi via Bravo Alpha Juliet, cross runway 4.
Bravo Alpha Juliet, cross runway 4. 420 Alpha Bravo.
November 675 Charlie Mike, descend via the Raven 8 arrival, correction, Baltimore, actually Mark State. I'll get back to you on that one.
Alright, descend via the Raven 8-5 Charlie Mike. We'll give you a approach request shortly.
Projected top of climb is between, looks like Teams and
Mike, can
Flask.
we get the VOR 15?
I will show it.
Thank you.
So, auto brake is off, flaps are all the way up, gear is up, lights are off. Pressure is standard.
Washington Center, warp 77, it would appear the traffic in front of me is in the grass. Would you like me to still give way?
Give him a little bit and see if he gets back on. If he doesn't, then you can do whatever you want.
Copy.
It's all kinds tonight.
American 334, Washington Center, Roger.
Captain Fur, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you. Doing some red eye ops tonight. We're going to Atlanta.
1945, Washington Center, Roger.
Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Not really red eye ops in the sense of red eye, but basically it is late for me. I pretty much never do this.
Yeah, November 420 Alpha Bravo, on departure, fly heading 270, runway 1, cleared to take Alton 1360 at 4.
Fly heading 270, November 420 Alpha Bravo.
is my friend. It is. Give me a bit. It's an American livery.
And Kevin 5, fly heading 270, runway 23 left, clear for takeoff, 12407.
Ain't it pretty? Grafton, it's been a challenging couple of weeks, let me just say that much. It's been rough. Are you talking about the 787 for 2024 or 2020? I'm assuming you mean 2024. I don't have experience with the premium package for 2024. I just bought standard edition for that sim. It kind of sort of lets me fly the 787 on the sneak because my 2020 has premium deluxe. Okay. Well, I mean, depending on how much disposable spend you have, if you can afford premium deluxe in FS 2020 and you want it,
Washington Center, warp
I can tell you.
Departure 23 left in sequence.
I can tell you I enjoy flying it.
Roger.
I like flying it a lot. And now I have the 787-10, which is the working title version, and the Horizon and the Kuro mod, which I haven't flown in a while. But basically, that's like the sports sedan. So yeah, up to you. Right now, we still have DC Center, and I think Atlanta Center went offline. But we do have Approach that's still online at ATL. We shall see.
November 430 Alpha Bravo, radar contact altitude.
Center altitude 1,100, climbing to 2,000. November 420 Alpha Bravo.
November 420 Alpha Bravo, maintain VFR and resume normal navigation.
Maintain VFR, November 420 Alpha Bravo.
Wasn't aware you could buy the 787 that way.
Runway 23 left, clear for takeoff, 124 at 7.
Fly heading 090, runway 23 left, clear for takeoff, warp 77.
Incoming 5, verify squawk at 5562.
Just do an audio check. Stand by.
Progress 314, moderate to extreme precipitation, 12:31 o'clock, 50 miles. Moving over eastbound Ponce unknown, about a 60 miles along your route of flight. Advise if you need to deviate. Progress 314 to send by to Alden 4 arrival.
Send by Alden 4, triple Washington Center, are you controlling AIAD?
Thank you so much, Craft. Appreciate it.
Just checking because I was opinionated.
Washington American 4315 descending on the Freedom 6 arrival at flight level 10R7.
American 4315, Washington Center to send by to Freedom 6 arrival. Expect the Mount Vernon visual runway, runway 1 approach in the Washington altimeter 3003.
Send via the Freedom 6 arrival, expect Mount Vernon visual for runway 1 of American 4215.
And comment 5, stay altitude.
Passing 5,500 for 6 for combat.
Comment 5, you clear direct Hopewell Hotel Papa Whiskey, climb and maintain flight level 200.
Direct Hotel Papa Whiskey, climb and maintain flight level 200 combat.
Unfortunately, I can't adjust much of the VATSIM volume through the plane, but I tried taking some of the edge off the volume, so hopefully that'll help you guys. Yeah, it's a little bit of an adjustment I don't want to be too loud though. Yeah.
Washington Center, warp 77 airborne, passing through 1,000 for 3,000 in the right turn, heading 090.
And warp 77, Washington Center radar contact.
Thank you so much,
And
Crafton.
Comet 5, verify squawking 5562.
Have a great rest of your day. And thanks so much for stopping by and saying hello. How high up are we? We are almost 6,000 from our intended altitude. Green banana is like right where it needs to be. So we're okay. We're okay. Not gonna lie, Chad, it's been rough. That I care for it to be, but I have faith that Yahweh God will be glorified and that I'll come out the other side. I don't know how, I don't know when, but we'll just say stuff is really rough. But we've done what we have done what is necessary in at least more than one instance, and we have sold off stuff
77, clear direct bay.
to pay bills.
Clear direct bay, warp 77 and request.
Good.
Requesting block altitude of surface to 3,000.
I can't give you surface of 3,000. I can give you at least block. Actually, stand by. Actually, I don't even know what the MVA is, so give me a sec. Yeah, I can only give you the block of 2,000 or 3,000.
Copy. If I proceed VFR and then contact you when I'm ready to return, will that work?
That's affirmative. I just can't give you the I'm sorry. I just can't give you the block below 2,000 because the MVA is DIGI IFR. But if you want to go VFR, you can squawk VFR, or you can just maintain flight following.
Copy. Warp 77 will transition to flight following then, so that once we get out, we can maintain that block as necessary.
Okay, and Warp 77, roger. I'll show you VFR now.
Thank you, sir.
Wow. We are Mach decimal 84 going up to flight level 400. That's fast.
And November 420 Alpha Bravo enable report Dallas in sight.
Center affirmative, I have it in sight. Can I get visual approach for 1 right?
Yeah, November 420 Alpha Bravo in the right base, runway 1 right, runway 1 right, clear to land.
Right base, 1 right, cleared to land, November 420 Alpha Bravo.
Book of Gaming, hello friend, welcome. Hello Raiders.
Level 240,
We're flying off to
American
Atlanta.
197, leave my airspace, free change about to approve. You have a nice flight.
Over to Unicom American 197. Thanks so much for your time. See ya.
Sure.
Can't waste a good see ya. Alright, back to Unicom. Okay, first off, we'll check radar, and there is no one in my immediate vicinity, so no need to make an immediate call out. Again, hello to my friend, Book of Gaming. Thank you for the raid, my friend. Really appreciate your support. Hello, Raiders. Appreciate you stopping by. Just in case you don't know me, my name is Digi Driver. I am a Christian flight sim streamer and content creator. I have made a few airport sceneries for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. I want to make more. I think eventually I will get started and get back into it. Tonight I'm doing a flight in the 787 flying from Washington, D.C. to Atlanta. I might do a second flight. I don't know. If I'm going to do a second flight tonight, it's definitely going to be off of the network. So it's going to be a nice ultra chill flight. But I usually do flight sim. I do flight sim scenery development. I sometimes do truck sim or drive a car real fast. I also like retro gaming, and I think once in a great while I will do a retro stream. But definitely appreciate everybody stopping by. Book of Gaming, really appreciate you, and definitely if you don't know who Book of Gaming is, he's a great friend of the stream, fellow brother in Christ, and someone that is actually going to be going to Games Done Quick this year in about 2 weeks' time to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game for the NES, and I am so happy for him. He's just like he's kind of like, you know, getting to the point where it's like you're getting ready for an important trip and you just want to make sure you have everything lined up, and Yahweh permitting, Book of Gaming, I pray you have a great time and that you model Christ at the event. Just that simple. We are approaching 40,000 feet. Let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt signs off. And that's fine. Amen. So we've got roughly 140 nautical miles till top of drop. And now that we are approaching 40,000 feet, I'm going to take a look at the approach map just to make sure I understand what the final approach fix is going to be. The altitude is going to be 2,700 feet and the go around is 4,000. So I'll set the altitude to 4,000 once we level off, and then I'll have that as the final approach altitude that I want before I kick in the approach mode, and also for the go around altitude in case you have to go missed. In my time flying on VATSIM, I have been told to go around in the past or to do a missed approach. So there's a non-zero chance that's going to happen, but at the same time, usually they get you on the ground when you request it. So we're good. Belts off, coffee on. I had my third cup at like 10 o'clock, so I'm definitely going to be feeling it in the next few minutes, if not already. And from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard American Airlines Flight 197 with service to Atlanta. We've reached our cruising altitude. You can take your seatbelts off to get up and use the facilities. Of course, we do ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when you are at your seat in the event of unexpected rough air. The flight attendants will be coming around to take care of you. I have my chief flight attendant with me, and she sends her regards. We are probably going to have a flight time of, I'd say, 45 to 50 more minutes till we're on the ground at Atlanta. Stay tuned for updates, but as far as I can tell, the flight time should be good. We'll take a look at the airport weather at Atlanta, and right now I'm going to be paying attention to the arrival weather for Atlanta, but hopefully we'll get you on the ground speedily and efficiently. In the meantime, sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight. can say the arrival, excuse me, I can say the arrival into Atlanta is going to be a little bit, actually a lot of bit spicy, because it looks like there are thunderstorms in the area, and winds were, I think, gusting, were 100 at 19 are gusting 44. Which begs the question, if they're 100 at 19er, why are we flying 275? Hang on, hang on. No, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to keep my eye on the weather, but let me go ahead and check ATIS on VATSPY. That'd probably be the fastest way to confirm. Okay, also looks like Atlanta approach went offline. Okay, the METAR from VATSPY says winds 320 at 9er, and we do have thunderstorms, but the winds aren't coming from the southeast, they're coming from the northwest. So, I think we're still good. And I have just come into ATL Center airspace. So, is what it is. But, yeah. Let me just catch up with you guys really briefly, because we had a bit of an action-packed departure out of Dulles up to Cruz. I wasn't feeling good earlier today. I was a little bit messed up, to be honest. Wrapped up work and I was feeling stressed and a little bit under it. I mean, hey, Yahweh is good. Like, the Lord carries and helps. Sometimes he lets me have way more than I can handle, so that I have to, remember that my dependency is on him for success. But today I was feeling it. So there's some stuff that I have to take care of, and I have to take time off to do it. So that's why I have the time off to use it. I don't usually like making appeals, because it's just like, hey, I know everybody's going through a rough time right now. We are too. I'll only say this once. If you feel so inclined, click on my bio, click on my icon to be taken to my About page, and you'll see a picture of an emote that says DIGI Crew. That's a donation link. You don't have to go there if you don't want to. I will take penny donations. Anything helps keep the lights on, and that's the legit, honest truth. I'm not even kidding. I went through something last year where I basically went into, let's just say, a different financial strata. We have been doing our best to stay afloat, and like I said before, we've sold stuff to pay the bills. This week we had difficulty affording water. I'm not lying. So I'm looking for things to do to take care of the situation. I'm looking for another job. I'm looking for anything else that I can do, and that's where I am. So we're taking it a step at a time, and I'm leaving the bill in God's hands. I'm not sure what's going to happen, to be completely honest with you. I have talked to other companies in the past and interviewed, and nothing's come of them. I'm not sure exactly why. I have a few theories. Nothing nasty. I'm just saying I have a few theories as to why certain things fell through. So I think the next few days I might start working on some of those things to as the kids say, get good. Thank you so much, Book of Gaming. Really appreciate you. Your prayers are coveted. Or what's the word that I'm saying? Your prayers are sincerely appreciated. Thank you. That's better. What bothers me isn't not having the things that I used to have that I sold to pay the bills. Believe it or not. You know that phrase, like, that stuff is in your closet gathering dust? I realized what the definition of that meant this year, or the past 12 months. I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff that I wasn't using that got turned into money to pay bills. What bothers me more is having my wife have to go without because there's something that she needs for her health and I don't have the money for it. I will say this though. I will shout her out because she's awesome. I literally turned around and told her tonight, I said, I'm considering parting out my computer if it helps. And she's like, no, you're not doing that. So we're trekking through this together. We're doing the best that we can right now, and that's all I can say. I mean, to Yahweh be the glory. King David had his problems. Elijah faced down a bunch of false prophets and then fled into the wilderness for fear for his life. And sheesh, even Gideon had his issues too. We all do. But Yahweh Elohim is supreme. There's a lesson to be learned here, and I intend to learn it. With that said, I believe I will come through this refined as by a silversmith. There's stuff to be picked up here, and I'm not going to be the same on the other side of this. I'll tell you that right now. I have way less of an appreciation for certain things that I used to get all the time. I used to feel inclined or entitled to buying things to make myself feel better. That's gone. I want to make sure I take care of my family. Which is why, if, for example, I get to ATL and I'm like, okay, I'm pooped and I don't want to keep talking or being boomy with my voice, I might pick the flights back up on Friday. Right now, that's probably what's going to happen. Unless I actually get to ATL in a short period of time. I can always accelerate time, it's just that I'm on VATSIM right now. Generally, time acceleration is frowned upon. Unless you get permission to do so. I don't know, I've never asked, so I'm not worried about it. Now, let me double check my traffic map. I thought that there wasn't any approach at Atlanta, but it is what it is. Okay, there we go. No, there's no ATC on the ground at ATL, so I don't expect to hear from Atlanta Center or Approach or even Tower at this point. It's 12:45 Eastern Time, so basically I think they went night-night, and that's okay. Nice clouds tonight. So where are we? Let's see. Actually, top of the descent is coming up in 40 nautical miles. So we'll be descending soon. and we're Mach decimal 84. We have a ground speed of 512 knots. Put it in perspective, that's, I think, upwards of 550 miles an hour. So we're going fast. We're going real fast. We are coming up on Shul in about 9 nautical miles. And then before we get to T done or touchdown, no, I think it's T done, we'll be beginning our descent. If you are so inclined, you can go on, I believe, SimAware or maybe even Volanta if it actually tracks VATSIM flights. And you can follow me as AAL197. That's American 197. We are flying down to Atlanta tonight. And folks, like I said, I'm a Christian flight sim streamer. I want everyone to know the saving news of Jesus Christ, King of Kings. He came to this earth, lived a sinless life, and died to pay for the sin debt of humanity, and he succeeded. If you are having difficulty in your life right now, you won't have all your problems answered and get all the money in the world handed to you when you trust Christ as Lord. But you'll have eternal life with him, and you will have a rock you can lean on when life gets really crummy. You don't have to believe in him if you don't want to, if that's your choice. I'm not going to try to shove what I believe down your throat. But as a believer myself, I pray that you do come to know him. Or even just pray, God, this dude called DIGI Driver says you're real. I don't know. I'm just having a hard time going through life, or I want more out of my life. Help me to know you. And it's my opinion he'll reveal himself to you so that you can have a relationship with him. Because, I mean, you know, you can follow a whole bunch of other stuff in life that's either dead or not as big. But if you can have a relationship with a God who's alive, I'd say that's a pretty good option. I'd say. That's what I believe. Trust God through Jesus and be saved. We should be beginning our descent very shortly. It's like probably 5 miles outside of T-Dun. Looks like my coffee's wearing out. Wow. It's okay. Yeah, I think after we land at Atlanta, we're probably gonna be good for tonight. I don't want to be disrespectful of my pets or of Mrs. DG. I don't want to inconvenience her, and I want to make sure she's rested and that we step into tomorrow appropriately. In case you don't know, I have been a bit of a caregiver for my wife for the past couple of years due to medical issues which has sprung up and her difficulty getting around. So if we go out, you know, we'll either take our time going places, or I'll use a wheelchair to get her from place to place. And if we're home, I'll, you know, do as much as I can around the house while I'm working. And it does look like we're descending now. That's great. Wow, got nice and quiet. That's cool. So we are on our way down to ATL. And there we go. How far out are we? Not that far out, actually. Atlanta traffic, American 107 is type Boeing 787-900, leaving flight level 400, descending on the Aussie 1, bound for runway 26 right, Atlanta traffic. And the seatbelt sign is on. We should be down at Atlanta probably in another 25 minutes, I think. Most likely. Most likely. Oh, speaking of which, we'll get the speed brakes armed. And what's the runway we're going to be choosing for arrival? It's 26 right. So if we take a look at the airport info, 26 right is a 9,000 foot long runway. It might be beneficial for us to understand what the landing date is going to be, but hold on. Performance takeoff. Okay, no, they only have that for takeoff, so that's fine. That's fine. 9,000. I think I'm going to go auto brake 4. That should be enough to get us slowed down. Let's take a look at performance data. Approach ref. We will go flaps 30. Which means we'll have a landing speed of roughly 165 knots, which is going to be fast, so I better not float the landing too much. So, there we go. Also, let me just make sure I understand what's up. We should be good. We should get down to 4,000 by the time we get to the ILS approach, which is this line of stars right here. The instrument landing system, if we activate it appropriately, should guide us down to a point where we can manually take over and steer the plane down to the ground. If the weather's okay, we should be able to see the airport visually and just fly or land the plane visually and just use visual cues to get down to the runway. Now, if for some reason we have difficulty seeing the runway, then we have this thing called a decision height. It's called minimums. And basically, if we get to 1,190 feet and we can't see the runway, then theoretically we need to go around and try it again. If we can't see the runway on the second or third time around, then we'll need to divert. The diversionary airport is a place called Huntsville International. I don't know where the airport is, but I have the airport code, which means we'll be able to punch it in and fly to it. Now, I did just see it on the map, so Huntsville is a good 25 minutes west-northwest of Atlanta, so we will be able to actually divert there and hopefully avoid any problems that we have with visibility or weather-related issues. But is what it is. We're hopefully going to have an okay time landing at Atlanta tonight, so we're all right. Again, definitely want to say thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight, everyone that's lurking. You don't have to do anything on this channel. If all you want to do is keep me on in the background, I appreciate your patronage. I always appreciate having conversations with people that are in the chat. And you certainly don't have to do anything like following or subscribing. That's up to you. There are some safeguards that we have on this channel, of course, in order to ensure that the experience stays good for everybody involved. Number one, we do have a verification policy. So if you don't want to verify yourself, there is a time restriction that your account has to have met in order for you to actually chat otherwise. And I think some of those restrictions are waived when you hit, I think, a certain level. I'm not sure if subscribing changes that. I think it does. But of course, we do have moderators for a reason. They're here to keep the community safe and well provided for in terms of a good, wholesome streaming experience. I don't make any apologies for the moderators. They are fully deputized. That means that if they see something that they don't agree with and that goes against what the implicit rules of conduct of this channel are, they will take action. And I haven't had to mediate or step in for a moderator kind of like overstepping their bounds. There's no such thing here. So we always ask that folks mind the direction and the courtesy of the moderators and chat, but also at the same time, because we have a verification policy, I think that keeps the incidence of things like follow bots and things like that from actually occurring on the channel, which is great. I'm not saying it's foolproof, but I am saying it's definitely a benefit. Where are we? We are at flight level 2, well, we just left flight level 240, excuse me, and we're going down to 4,000 feet. We are a little bit faster than we want to be, but I'm not going to worry about it too much until we get close to the instrument landing approach and we don't find that we're at the altitude we need to be at. That green line, what I kind of call a plantain or green banana, that represents the computer's effort to get to the prescribed altitude that I gave it when it entered a VNAV descent. So the autopilot system on a plane like the 787 functions based on certain parameters. If we enter a flight plan and it uses standard instrument departure and arrival waypoints, it can kind of figure out where it needs to be. And also, those departures and arrivals sometimes have restrictions on things like the altitude or the speed at which you're supposed to be at. So if you take a look at this screen, for example, you see how there's this waypoint called Posey, and you have 8,000A. I believe that means you need to be at or above 8,000 feet at this waypoint in order to continue. And as we come in to the approach, the altitude requirements decrease as you descend. And the computer right now is trying to balance descending as efficiently as possible with not accelerating too much. So it's an interesting balance that it's trying to achieve. And it is getting a bit bumpy out there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are beginning our final descent into ATL. We should have you on the ground in about maybe 15-20 minutes at the most. Just be advised, we do have some weather that I think is on the way out of the area. So far, I don't see an issue with us coming into the airport, but we do ask that you do stay in your seats at this time with your seatbelts fastened, just so we can ensure your safety and make sure that we get this plane down smoothly and efficiently. Thank you very much. So we're about to go past 18,000 feet. When you hit flight level 180 or 18,000 feet and you go above it, you enter flight levels with standard pressure. Below 18,000 feet, you have localized pressure, which means the altimeter or the barometric pressure is going to vary based on where you are and what weather systems are doing what. So we're about to cross into standard altitude, excuse me, local altitude. So I'm going to hit the standard button again. You're going to see a QNH, and I can hit the B button on my keyboard and have it try to automatically calibrate. But I'm also going to check the weather on the METAR for VATSIM. The altimeter here is 3014. And the weather looks like it's updated. Looks like the winds are 100 and 19er, gusts 44. So what that means is we're probably going to have to change our approach into the airport, because if we get a 44 knot gust from behind while we're trying to land on a runway, it's going to introduce problems with our approach that we don't necessarily want to deal with. So we're going to change our approach, especially since it's probably the best idea. We're still going to come in on the Aussie 1, which is all these waypoints, but we're going to change how we fly in. Instead of 26 right, we're going to pick a runway which better represents the current weather situation, because you always want to land into the wind. You also want to take off into the wind. Oh, wait a minute. They're still flying out to the west? That's weird. Let me see. Okay, that's really weird. I guess they're still landing to the west. No one's actually told me to change stuff yet. Hmm. Ooh, pressure. That's really weird, Book of Gaming. All right. But also, Maple, welcome aboard, friend. Good to have you. We're on our way into ATL, and this is definitely a atypical thing for me, as I usually don't stream this late at night during the week, but welcome aboard. We do have some weather in the area, but so far it hasn't even changed the direction that VATSIM traffic is flying out of the airport. People, I think, are taxiing for departure on the 26s and 25s when the weather is changing up to be out of like the southeast for winds. So we'll see. Yeah, and I do think if I stream on Friday, it's going to be I'm at least going to be doing GA in Western Canada for a little bit before we do a flight into possibly from Detroit to Toronto, just to get the penalty box approach. Hopefully the weather will support that. We'll see. Coming up on 10,000 feet. I don't want to forget, so I'll turn the landing lights on ahead of time. And I will get my turn-offs on as well. Yeah, got some punchy cells south of the airport, so I will have to be on my best behavior, I think. And any ice is on auto. Yeah, traffic is actually flying out to the west. That's kind of crazy. So, do we actually have approach online? Nope, we don't. The sim brief map doesn't actually update that much. I think it's kind of a free-for-all right now. And someone's flying out of Atlanta in a 777-200. They're going to Detroit Metro. Okay, so do we have CTAF frequency for Atlanta? I can't find one, but I could probably try one of the ground frequencies. And we're using 2.6 left and right, so I could use a ground frequency of ground 121.9er, but we'll see. We might actually get some rain coming in. And here we are. We're coming up on Posey. And we can probably start to slow down some more too. We'll take flaps 1 out. Checklist. Descent recall checked. Auto brake is set to 4. Landing data, we're going to go with VREF of 165. And approach briefing. We're landing, that's it. Approach altimeters, currently 3009er, we'll take that. the clouds now, chat. Oof, look at that cell over there. Yikes. That is no joke. Okay, so yeah, essentially people are still flying out to the west, so that's what I'm intending to do. We don't have anybody on VATSIM in Atlanta right now, so there's no one that's going to tell me at the moment to depart, or excuse me, arrive from the east. And I don't see a lot of traffic departing right now anyway, so we'll do the best we can. We have 122.8 for Unicom, and I'll probably tune 1219er when we get on ground for DTAF. Okay. Looks gloomy, but at the same time, we're not dealing with crazy winds or storms at the moment. Grateful for that. Atlanta traffic, American 197 Heavy, type Boeing 787-900, approaching Zelo on the ILS 26 right approach. Atlanta traffic. Let's slow down some more. Flaps 5. Keep an eye on traffic. Nope, good right now. No traffic arriving or departing. We do have weather in the area. Off that direction. Let's see if we can toggle approach mode. Actually, not yet. We're not at like 10 nautical miles from the airport yet. Alright, give me flaps. Give me flaps 10. We do have some rain right in front of us. Alright, airport's in sight. We can see the runway all the way from out here with the lights. So we could do a visual approach. The weather might get in the way, so we're still going to stick with ILS. When we get to the ground at ATL, we could probably go all the way down to Concourse Alpha or Concourse Tango, which means we can ride this runway all the way out to either Bravo 3 or Hotel, and then probably take either Victor to Echo and Foxtrot 1, or take Bravo 3 to Bravo 2, cross runway 26 left, and then get to Echo and take that to Foxtrot 1. Let's go approach mode. Approach mode's on. Localizer. Blue flaps 15. And gear down. Flaps 17. Flaps 18. Flaps 20. Flaps 25. And flaps 30. Alright, and we will tune the speed to VREF plus 5, which is 165. Outside temperature is 28, so no any ice worries. Atlanta traffic, American 107 heavy, fully established, runway 26 right, Atlanta traffic. Alright, here goes, chat. Two words you might not want to hear out of your pilot. Here goes. And I can see the runway. Alright, so speed brakes are armed, landing gear is down, flaps are 30, green light. Landing checklist complete. This is about as fast as I've approached the runway in a long time. 1000, stable, Mr. Birch altitude set. And stutter. There we go. It's a huge stutter spike. But we're still flying. Okay, so flying a 787, do not turn the auto throttle off until you actually land. 500, stable. Let's get trim to help us out. Landing. We'll land a little long, but we should be okay.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
All right. Idle thrust. And full reverse. Knots. Heh, another aircraft carrier style landing. Welcome down. Atlanta traffic, American 107, clear runway 26 right at hotel, taxiing Concourse Tango via Hotel Victor Foxtrot 1. Okay, done deal. Let's get the APU fired up. And we're tucking the speed brakes away. Welcome down. I think we did the exact same kind of landing that we did at Juneau a couple weekends ago, when we actually just slammed the thing down. It probably wasn't terminal, but it was firm. I'm assuming probably somewhere around minus 380 to like minus 400, so whatever. That's okay though. We are here, and the APU is running. Plane is still in one piece, chat. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn the landing lights off. Strobe lights can come off. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Could have done a much better job on the landing, but at the same time, we were going so fast that I focused on just making sure we were set to slow down in time. Only thing worse than a slam landing is a runway overrun, and I did not want that to happen. But we are on the ground now. This is one of the sceneries which was released, I think, with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Welcome to, I think this is Hartsfield-Jackson International, Atlanta International Airport. Basically, it's Kilo Alpha Tango Lima, and we are going to taxi over to the Tango concourse, which I believe should have enough heavy positions for us to park this plane at. The weather was also a challenge because we opted to land with the wind instead of against it. What I should have done was gone around and land, instead of on runway 26 right, on 8 left, or something like that. So, here we go. This airport is, I think, predominantly a Delta hub. So the Tango concourse on our right has all the probably different carriers, which means I want to pick this one to park my plane. Let me see. Can I get GSX to give me a gate at the Tango concourse? We'll find out. Oh, there aren't any. Huh. We'll pick the one that seems the most suitable, and we'll make it work. So let's see. Actually, you don't want to know what? Tango 17 might have worked. Tango 16, perhaps. That truck came out of nowhere. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. The trucks in this sim sometimes have no regard for your airplane at all. So if you're looking to avoid vehicular traffic, this game will keep you on your toes. All right. So I think either right here or here is where we'll park up. And even if it doesn't initially accept it, we'll force the position to accept the aircraft. because I think some of those positions are designed for large airplanes, like ours. So let's see. Yeah, yeah. Those big red spots, these are probably going to be where we actually park the plane. Because those look like heavy positions. Okay, so we will turn in here. All right. So I think we should be good enough right here. I think so. All right. Let's turn off the taxi light and the nose light and hook up to the external power and shut down. All right, don't need the APU anymore. Flight attendants, disarmed slides, stand by for all call.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
So, reposition here at current gate, T8. Let's have some fun. Let's actually see what it picks as a suitable parking spot for me. We'll warp to the heavy gate. And let's see what it looks like. Okay. So we're actually way far away from where we actually taxied. So that's fine. Before I get into trouble, let's just go ahead and disconnect from VATSIM just so I can hook up the plane. And we will get the jetway connected.
Deboarding requested.
And we will use AccuFleet for our deboarding process. So, do we have the parking brake set right now? We do. There we go. We'll turn off the fuel pumps. And there is the jetway. And now we're going to have a little bit of fun. Alright, so watch this. Well, it's meme-tastic because this is actually supposed to hook up to the plane, but for some reason it doesn't stretch all the way. So, should I move it a little bit?
Passengers deboarding starting.
Okay. So, what I can do is get in the plane and watch the folks deboard. The problem is there's not a real working interior on this thing, so you might see folks deboard right about here, which is kind of cool. A lot of people getting off the plane. right, so took us a little over an hour and a half, I think, to get down here, which is cool. That's not bad. Falling onto the ramp, let's see. No, they seem to be getting there. Now, let me think. This is not a those jetways are not the custom ones from the jetway add-on, so they're kind of like default. But if you want a quick laugh, yeah, they have to navigate that distance. They apparently have not paid gravity tax, so clearly, you know, things. So we won't pay too much attention to that. The Matrix. But not bad. Not bad, actually. Also, we have luggage being unpacked. Which is pretty cool. They take the luggage that's in these containers for like the big planes. They have a whole bunch of like suitcases in them. At least I'm guessing. And then basically that gets lowered onto the luggage truck, which then brings it into the terminal building. And then basically you wind up, going to baggage claim, getting your bags, going to your vacation or going home. And the thing that's going on right now, this isn't even the newest version of Flight Simulator. There's a flight sim called Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and the people that you see doing stuff like this, you can be one of them. You can't do what they're doing right now, but they're figuring things out as they go, and now we have airports where you can actually, I think, walk around the terminal and even even take an elevator if you wanted to. So, I mean, how much longer is it until like, you can like go through security to like get on a plane at an airport and like drink virtual coffee and stuff like that and not pay gravity tax? It might not be that long. You won't see the walkway, but it is there. Dude, dude, I would have to say that would just be unnerving to me at a minimum. But yeah, yeah, we're doing the thing. They're getting taken care of. I need to get my luggage too. That's awesome. Now, one of the things is that you can set the speed at which people disembark from the aircraft, but unfortunately, I guess that means that you actually have a whole bunch of people walking through each other to get off the plane. So, clearly not the best option. If we're going for realism anyway. Wow, Grandma said out of my way. But that's cool. Basically, we have arrived at Atlanta International Airport, and I don't know. I'm guessing this is like either the international terminal or the really heavy aircraft terminal. We took about an hour and 45 minutes to get here and had a nice time. caught up, said hi to people, dealt with some slightly funky weather, and yeah, man, enjoyed the experience. Um, I think, I think at this point, I'm probably gonna call it done, and then basically the next time I stream might be Friday afternoon and do some low and slow flying in Canada. No, no. Probably upwards of like 380 passengers. But I don't know. Sometimes the jokes are there, so I get
Do
you.
you want to deboard crew?
Yes. Yes, I do. Because we're done flying for today.
Crew deboarding starting.
Right. So the crew is leaving now. These wonderful people that took care of the passengers are going home. Or at least waiting in the terminal while the plane gets serviced. And then the pilots are going to deboard. So you're going to see what my digital persona looks like. Now, you can actually create an avatar for yourself in FS 2024 or Flight Sim 2024, but in here, it's basically just, a kind of like default setting. The crew left. I think there were like more than 4 crew for a plane of this size, but I would imagine you'd probably have at least 6 or
Your
8.
crew has deboarded.
6 or 8 people. And now we have the first officer and the pilot. Or the pilot and the first officer. One of the two. And now, we good, fam. We good. So there we go. We have just deboarded a plane. And we are on the ground at Atlanta. So, with that said, let's go ahead and turn this turkey off. We're not flying it anymore, so we're going to take the IRS systems offline. We are going to take the window heats off. And we're going to take the electrics off. Turn this plane off properly. Wing lights can come off, logo and nav, beacon lights can come off, all the external lights are off, everybody's out. Turn the packs off, trim air can stay on, and we can turn the door power off, and now we can turn the external power off, and we can turn the battery off. And that's it. We have now shut off the aircraft. It's nice and quiet. Nice. And I helped. GG's. Indeed, friend. Indeed. Chat, it's about 1 a.m. Eastern Time. I probably have at least a couple more hours before I hit the hay, but I would say thanks so much for accompanying me today. It's been a privilege having you aboard. We had a nice meme-tastic landing in Atlanta, mostly because we were going like 170 miles an hour when we touched down, which is kind of atypical, even for a plane this big, usually. And we made it in about an hour and like 45 minutes. It was a nice day. Kind of like slightly bumpy skies coming in, but it looks like the weather's clearing out to the west, which is great. And next time I fly on stream, it will probably be over in Western Canada. If we do GA flying, that's where it's going to be. And then I'm probably going to do a flight out of Detroit into Toronto to wrap up, assuming everything goes to plan on Friday. Feel free to stay tuned for that. And again, definitely appreciate how you turn everything off when the pilot already walked off the plane. Well, in my world, the maintenance techs know how to turn the planes off. So I guess that's what they did. but it's such a privilege having all of you aboard, especially folks that are just joining me here for the first time. I usually try to stream at least once a week, and it usually turns out to be on a Saturday or a Sunday. During the week, if it happens, it's cool. If it doesn't happen, it's just usually how things work out. Although I usually do try to stream around a more reasonable time, like way earlier than this, like 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern, if at all. I'm trying to get back into scenery development so I can build airports that look like this. I'm also trying to I'm also trying to do other things on stream as Yahweh permits. Again, um, to my brothers and sisters in Christ, I would really appreciate your prayers for the next few days, next few weeks and months. I feel like I have a long way to go in terms of figuring out how to get out of the situation I'm in, but I'm also grateful for the lessons that I've learned along the way. And if I can get to a place where I can take better care of my family, really, really want to get there. Not so I can buy myself whatever I want, it's just so I can know that my wife's medical bills are taken care of. My pets are fed, the house is taken care of, and yeah, like if I get a chance to buy a burger from Mickey D's, cool. If I don't, I honestly don't care. Like, it ain't about me. It was never about me, but I'm so much more aware of that right now. And just reading Proverbs and reading Jeremiah and being introduced to people that just were going through really, 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 really crummy circumstances in life. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, for me right now, the hard road is where I am, and I'm stressed and I'm burnt out, but this is such an effective gym. I don't want to be stupid and buy things just to buy them anymore. I've sold a bunch of stuff that I had before to make sure we had enough money. You're welcome to donate if that's what you want to do, but the simple act of you being here tonight and supporting me is also great. And if that's all you can do, thank you so much for being here. Again, I'm going to probably try to be on Friday, and if I am, it's probably going to be way closer to midday or early afternoon. Otherwise, if I'm not on, it's possible that I'm not on because I'm watching the Flight Sim Expo, which is going on in Providence this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So from the from Terminal Foxtrot at Atlanta International Airport or Hartsfield Jackson International, I bid you a pleasant evening and all the love in my heart to all of you. May the Lord bless you and watch over all of you in Jesus' name. And like I like to say at the end of every stream, if you want true peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that is Jesus Christ. Take care, my friends. Have a great night. Hopefully, I will see you again probably sometime in the early afternoon or midday on Friday for some low and slow antics in general aviation aircraft, and probably a quick commuter flight from Detroit to Toronto in something like an Airbus A320. Something smaller than this, or maybe even a 737. So, we'll see. Take care, friends. Have a great night. And until next time, we'll see ya. Bye.